guys, welcome back. So as you can see, my eyebrows are already done just because I feel like you guys have seen me do this a million times. So I'll leave the products that I used down below. I also did start one eye already just because I wasn't really sure exactly what I wanted to do. I got inspired by a lot of the looks that you guys sent me, so I wanted to kind of play around with the look before I actually went on camera, and I actually really liked the way it turned out. So I'm first starting off with the NARS Soft Matte Concealer in the shade Custard. I love this for priming, for cleaning up the brows, and also for underneath my eyes. It's a really great creamy concealer. So I'm just taking this on a flat shader brush. This one is from RC Cosmetics, and I'm just applying that all over my lid and then blending it out with my Maybelline Beauty Sponge. So today I'm using the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I'm first picking up the cream shade right at the top, and I'm just going to go ahead and set the area with an e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. This is totally optional, but I love the way my eyeshadows apply whenever I do set my lid. So then I'm using some sticky Scotch tape, and I am going to apply it on the back of my hand just to take away some of the stickiness, so that way it's not really harsh around the eye area and I get a really nice clean line once I'm finished with my eyeshadow. I'm picking up the shade Raw Sienna and Burnt Orange on a Morphe M518, and I'm just going to be blending these colors right into my crease just as a neutral blending shade. Even though I'm doing such a dark look, I feel like this step is crucial and it just makes the blending process so much easier. Then I'm picking up the shade Love Letter right at the top. It's a really deep burgundy magenta color. I love this shade. It's one of my favorites in the palette. I'm using this with a Morphe M433 brush, and I'm just going to really pack it on the outer part of my crease, very lightly and gradually blending it towards my lid. It doesn't really matter if you get this shade in your lid because I'm going to be adding more colors over top, but I'm really emphasizing it and really adding a ton of product to my brush because I really want the outer part of the crease to be super deep, super dark, and really intense. So you can see here I'm dipping my brush in quite a bit, and then I'm just adding more product as I go and blending as I go as well. Here I'm just using a smaller blending brush from Violet Voss, which doesn't have a name. I wish it did, but I'm just using that to blend out the edges, and then here I'm just adding more product to the outer crease. Then I'm using the NARS concealer once again on a flat shader brush from BH Cosmetics. I got this in a kit. It's from the Dot collection. I love BH Cosmetics brushes. I'm basically cutting the crease a little bit, not really. I'm applying the concealer pretty much just on the inner third of my lid. And since I'm using glitter, this isn't really a necessary step, but I do feel like it made the process a little bit easier and made the look a little bit more clean. So then I'm using this domed brush from ColourPop. Again, this one doesn't have a name. I apologize. I mean, it's not my fault, but I wish it did have a name, but I'm just using this on the outer part of the concealer and just cleaning up the edges a little bit to make everything blend better. And then I'm using the Stila Liquid Magnificent eyeshadows. I love these. They're amazing. This one is in the shade Smoldering Satin, and I'm just going to be applying this again to the inner third of my lid, pretty much where I just applied that concealer. And this is such a pretty shade. It's like not silver, but it's not champagne. It's kind of just like right in the middle. I love the color, and these are my favorite glitters because they're not messy and you can be really precise and add as much as you want, and there's not a ton of fallout, which I love. So then I'm using the Bad Habit Supernova palette. This is actually from Shop Hush. I love shopping on their website because the stuff is so affordable, and these are really great dupes for a lot of high-end makeup palettes, but I'll talk about these palettes in another video. But I'm just picking up that purple shade on a Violet Voss blending brush, and I'm basically just applying that on the lid area. I just really wanted a nice gradient between the glitter, the purple, and the magenta shade. So I felt like this kind of just complemented the pink and the silver really well. So I'm really just, again, adding more product as I go. I'm adding a little bit more glitter and then blending out the crease and adding more of the Love Letter shade. So it's a really slow process with looks like this, but I feel like it's so worth it because the end result is bomb. So I'm just basically adding more purple and more pink, and this brush that I'm using is from Morphe. It's just a pencil brush, and then I'm just adding more of the Love Letters color again because I really wanted it to be emphasized. So my favorite part is removing the tape. You can see you get a nice clean line, and I'm just wiping away any fallout. I do have a little bit of glitter on my face, but honestly it's nothing crazy compared to loose glitter. So I'm just using these Ilora Vegas Nay lashes and my favorite Kiss eyelash glue, and I'm also going to be coating my lashes with a few coats of the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara just to help everything blend. I'm also going to tightline my upper waterline with this LA Girl Gel Pencil Liner in the shade Black. This just really helps for your falsies to kind of just blend better with your lashes. That way there's not like a gap or anything in between. and I know this looks really creepy, but it makes such a difference. So I'm actually going to wait for my lash to dry, and I'm just going to move on to the face in the meantime. So I'm using this Wet n Wild Dewy Primer. I love this. It's really hydrating, and it makes your skin look glowy and beautiful, and I feel like who doesn't want to look glowy and beautiful on Valentine's Day? And I'm just really pressing this into my skin, letting it sit for a little bit, and then I'm using the Smashbox Primer Water because nobody wants cake face. Not on Valentine's Day, and not ever. So while I let that sit, I'm just going to pop my eyelash on with some tweezers. These lashes are a little difficult to apply just because the band is a little bit thicker, but once you get them on, they are amazing. And I'm using this eyeliner from The Balm. Honestly, it's not my favorite. I just basically did like the thinnest line ever, and I just didn't like the way that this turned out. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have done this, but yeah, we all learn from our mistakes. Anyways, I'm going to just take the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD Foundation. I have this one in the shade, I think it's 644. I'll leave the exact name down below, but I'm just blending this in with my Morphe M439. I love this brush, and this foundation is really beautiful because it gives you a natural finish. So I feel like if you have dry or oily skin, you can get away with it, and it's just such a great medium to full coverage foundation for an everyday basis, even going out, because again, you can build it up, so it's great. Then for concealer, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Medium, and I'm just basically applying a pretty heavy load of this because whenever I do a lot of makeup, like eye makeup, like today, I like to really make my face look really bright and highlighted just to kind of balance everything out. And then I'm using my Maybelline sponge just to clean up the edges again a little bit because I felt like the outer edges of my eyeshadow weren't even, and I know a lot of people who have like OCD are probably cringing, but hey, it happens. I'm human, but I did try to clean it up a little bit with the concealer, and I'm just blending everything out. Of course, you guys have seen me do this a million times. I love concealer, and this one is amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and just set with my favorite loose setting powder from the Collab makeup brand. You guys know, if you've been watching me, this has been my go-to. I love it so much for pretty much just setting underneath the eyes. I don't really bake, but I love setting with my damp beauty sponge because it makes the area look super smooth, and I just love it. I've been raving about this powder like nonstop. You can get it at Sally's Beauty Supply. I'm also going to take the same powder and just pounce it into my skin with the same sponge. I love doing this because it takes away from that powdery look, but it still sets your face really, really nicely. So I'm just applying a pretty decent amount of this because I want everything like my blush, my bronzer, and my highlighter to go on really smooth over top. And I'm really going to quick set my brows with the Collab High Rise Mascara. Yes, this is just an extremely black mascara, but I've been loving it for setting my brows. Since my hair is so dark, I feel like this matches really nicely, so I love this. And then I'm going to go ahead and contour with the Park Ave Princess palette from Tarte. I'm picking up those two shades, and I'm first going to start by bronzing the skin. I'm using a Wet n Wild P60 brush, which I love. I got these on their website. I'm not really sure if they're available in stores, but I love these brushes with the pink handles. They are so luxurious. They feel like high-end brushes, and they're really, really affordable. So I'm just bronzing my skin first, and then I'm going in with an LA Girl 104 brush to contour a little bit. I don't really go for anything too intense on a daily, but this brush gives me like that soft look that I love. And I also apply a little bit down the sides of my nose as well to do a little bit of contouring, if you will. And then I'm also going to be taking the light shades in the Park Ave Princess palette with a P65 brush from Wet n Wild just to kind of clean up the contour a little bit and give me more of a precise look. But nothing crazy, but it still gives me a nice look. Then I'm using the Ulta Velvet Blush in the shade Sun Glow. It's just a really natural rose color, and I'm using a stippling brush. This one is from TJ Maxx, and I'm just applying this to the apples of my cheeks, blending it up towards my bronzer, just for a really light, natural wash of color. And then for highlighter, I'm using the Becca highlighter in the shade Moonstone. This one's one of my favorites. Wait, is this Moonstone or is this Opal? I don't remember if it's Moon. I know I don't like one of them, but I'll leave the exact name down below. But this one is amazing. I'm using my Morphe M501 just to apply this to the high points of my face. I love Becca face products. They really are so smooth and silky. And just going back into the eyes, I'm picking up the red color, really pressing this on a definer brush from Morphe right on my lower lash line to really give me a smoky look. You can't forget your lower lash lines, especially when you're doing such a dramatic look like this one. And then I'm using this Maybelline Gel Pencil Liner. This one's one of my favorites. It's just a really nice purple one, and I'm just going to be lining my waterline. I felt like this was just super necessary, especially with the look, with the purple that we had going on. And then I'm just taking a Morphe E18 brush just to go ahead and blend everything and make the look even more smoky. So then I'm using this Ofra highlighter. This one is in the shade Glazed Donut. And I'm using another Morphe E18 brush, and I'm just going to be applying that right into the inner tear duct of my eyes just to really brighten the area and give it a really dramatic look. And I also apply that right to my brow bone. For lips, I'm starting off with the Catrice Lip Foundation Lip Pencil, and this one is in the shade Take You to the Chocolate Shop. I'm just lining my lips with this, and then I'm using the Pixi Liquid Lipstick, and this one is in the shade, I forget the shade. Oh my gosh, I forget the shade. It's like a brand new color. I'll leave it down below, but it's like a nude color, and I love it because it's like your lips, but better. And then finally, I'm using the Milani Make It Last setting spray just to lock my makeup into place. So that is it for this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below. I know the eyeliner kind of threw off the look a little bit, but I hope you guys still liked it. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in a few days in my next one. Bye.